Hello, I'm Paul Fuller. I'm founder of Astropreneur, and this is Rebecca, who is also helped me on this project. And I'd like to thank the group here at Startup Weekend for the hosting, and this has been an awesome venue. So, Astropreneur is the concept for a space exploration game that combines multiple elements that are currently available, but in a new way for the space game market. So I'll show you what that is. It's edutainment, space adventure. So the value proposition is that it is combining multiple elements. So the first game element I want to highlight is, only back a second, I have been working in the space industry as a consultant, but in the aerospace, new space industry, which is Virgin Galactic, X-Core, SpaceX, and I noticed there is not much that is targeting this type of era of space. Like, there's NASA apps, for example, science giving you insight into what is out there in the solar system. There are space games that have the entertainment side, or have a slight twinge of touch the space side that are entertainment. And then there are also games that have the strategy component. But I didn't feel there was anything that was targeting the space industry that had all these areas combined, and that's the concept. So all three in one app, Astropreneur. So it has the fun flight mission, so that the fun flight gameplay, like Angry Birds, the edutainment, like in the NASA science apps that exist now, and then the strategy that really only exists in things like Civilizations or some of the Sid Meier's games. So moving forward. What I realized is that a lot of space, when people think of space, they think of NASA. I want to change that because it is changing. It's very soon, we've already had the first deliveries to the International Space Station by SpaceX, a private company, and we have 2 asteroid mining companies now. Things are changing, and very soon we will double the number of astronauts. This year, maybe next. It's going to double immediately as soon as the private space citizens start flying. So, how to change the discussion of what is space? So, the way to do that is to do a game that focuses on new space. This is the example for the game concept. It is starting from Earth and using the scientific details about the planet, and then moving into, like, you can do missions. This pulls in the STEM side by having the real missions, the real resources to figure out what you can build if you go to these destinations, what you can do, what you can observe. So you make money by doing launches and completing them successfully. That's where the flight comes in. Building installations and then upgrading to new technologies, and then flying off to other destinations, to the edge of the solar system and beyond eventually. So there's the gameplay metric, starting from Earth, going to near Earth destinations, and then expanding outward as the technology that you acquire as a space company extends. So it's a conquest game that starts from present day and moves off to the future. I felt it best to put this into a computer or app base because you have the ability to develop it continuously inside with upgrades. So if we create a technology, say, oh, we're going to have a technology upgrade to go beyond the edge of the solar system, that's going to be an upgrade in the app to have new destinations. So keep going. The market validation, we looked at customers, we first talked to current video gamers who understand the concept of strategy. They have space games that are, like Mass Effect and Halo, these are games that are extreme sci-fi, don't have the science component. A lot of them said they would play a game like this. And surprising to me is that their propensity to pay is actually for a higher point than I was expecting. 10 to 15 as opposed to, I was thinking 5 to 10 for the free version and then an upgrade. With the propensity to pay for the upgrade is higher than I thought. And also I found out that there's extreme interest to play it in the computer in addition to an app. I also found out. It was surprising. So the development cost. I focused on the app development because it's more manageable than a computer game. It would be under $100,000 because I'm looking at the Angry Birds metric, which was a 2D game that but without some of the features that Angry Bird has, so it's a little bit simpler to do. Keep going. And then we developed the Kickstarter details for how it would work. The rewards, I didn't list all of them, but I have all the rest of the rewards mapped out for a Kickstarter campaign. And that is how we would raise money for the development. We've already got the website and the Facebook page live. So without any more ado, any questions?
demographically?
Sure. The demographics we're looking at were people who play games, and there's actually a split, boys and girls mostly, but from about 12, 13 to 18, and then 18 to 25. And there's two ways to go at these two different sections. Auto, I didn't have a chance to mention, but auto versus manual gameplay. So in auto gameplay, you set the destinations and the vehicles go. It's more of the strategy component, like we're used to seeing in computer games, that you don't actually fly anything, you just set the directions. Manual flying would be like, I want to have an experience like Angry Birds, where I set the path with my finger and then watch my spaceship go and try to make sure I hit the target and don't overshoot or end up coming in too shallow to the planet, that sort of thing. So multiple demographics based on two sides of the gameplay.
We kind of figured the more hardcore gamers would actually want to skip over the manual flight and do the automatic, because they're usually more interested in the strategy, and some of the more casual gamers would probably rather move their fingers around and try to hit the planets.
So that's why we're trying to go for multiple demographics.
So you showed costs for your development.
Yes.
What else do you mean?
So there would also be marketing would be the other cost. The Kickstarter is kind of in the marketing because crowdsourcing is a good source of marketing, but I didn't include the cost for marketing because that would be anything above and beyond in order to bring this to market. But Kickstarter would be the first step in the marketing piece.
How about other people involved, organizations?
So partner organizations, I am affiliated with the National Space Society in working with the space conferences, the Space Frontier Foundation, and a few others that are advocacy groups, and I have contacts with the aerospace companies like SpaceX and Virgin Galactic. So that's how I would get the partner organizations to spread the word. Going to game conferences, having booths, those sort of things would be other routes.
So just to aside, I have two small children. This is one of the few games I think I would encourage them to play in the future. I like this, it hits home. In terms of getting it developed, how and who is doing that?
As far as developing it?
The game, yeah, the whole.
So currently no one is actually developing this. That's why we're looking to do the Kickstarter to hire developers to make it happen. Unless there's a developer willing to take this on and make it happen, because there's a definite need for this. Because I was surprised how much I didn't know about this real solar system, the resources on the planets. I said, like what planets are good for getting rocket fuel? What's are good for getting building materials? What can you build on the moon?
We have a lot of the gameplay mapped out, we just don't have the programmers. I do have friends in the game development majors here, which I'm hoping to get in, and we're hoping to get some people who actually graduated too.
Yeah, I have a ton of questions. I got 1 minute.
Go ahead.
I'm confused. Gary asked a question, who's developing this? And you responded to something in regards to you don't have developers and your colleague. So I'm a little confused. Who's going to map out is it your idea? Who's mapping out the game?
We're developing this, we don't have programmers.
I'm sorry, I have confusion. I think the developing the programmers I don't have. I've actually mapped out the idea.
Okay, that clears that up.
Business development. I have business development. I just don't have the code writing development.
Okay.
We're sorry.
Okay. All right.
Mistake on my part.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm also curious how you market this. Once you get it close to release, say, what's your strategy there besides Kickstarter?
The partner organizations and trade groups like the conferences, the game conferences, and then there's also a lot of interest in launching things like this at Comic-Con and other types of genre conferences.
And a lot of the private space organizations we have connections with are really interested in promoting it. Deep Space Industries has already promoted us on their Facebook.
Yeah, as soon as I put it on the Facebook, I got it pushed out from the Deep Space Industries founder, so that was kind of cool.
One last comment. If you haven't looked at it, you might want to look at X Prize. You familiar with X Prize?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes, I've met Peter Diamandis, yes.
Okay, so that could be a great source for your development as well.